I'm Joe.
And I'm Ben.
And we're the Bourbon Boys. Let's pour a glass. Well, welcome back to Bourbon Boys. We're glad you tuned in again. Today we got another bottle that Ben got, so thanks Ben for going out shopping.
No problem.
We didn't exactly wait in line, but this is apparently kind of hard to find. I don't know. I haven't really looked for it that much. But it's from Maker's Mark. This is 101. It's a limited release. Maker's Mark. So Maker's Mark is anyone that knows anything about bourbon, just passing, is synonymous with bourbon. I mean, the two biggest names in bourbon probably to the general public are Jim Beam and Maker's Mark. A lot of people in the bourbon, a lot of bourbon aficionados, self-described there, kind of thumb their nose a little bit at Maker's, but I gotta tell you, I like Maker's Mark. I think it's a good product. It tastes good every time. It's consistent. That's kind of what they hang their hat on. They didn't make 100 different styles, and this 101 is really no different. It's their same bourbon that they put out. They've been putting out since 1958, I believe. And it's the same thing. This one's just, instead of a 90 proof, which is their standard one, it's at 101. So I really like Maker's. I think it's a great one. Every bar has it. You can always get it. Every store has it, and it's consistent. You get a lot of these single barrel ones, which I found. You taste one, you think, oh, that is great. You go buy yourself a bottle. It's a different bottle. It's a different year. And you're like, It's inconsistency between the bourbons, and when I spend my money on something, I like to know that I'm getting something good. It's kind of fun to try something different and new, but if I'm going somewhere, like I said, Maker's to me is a giant in the industry, and rightfully so. So we're going to try this one out. I'll let you crack the seal on their
infamous wax.
Yeah, on the infamous wax. You're destroying an individually one-of-a-kind wax seal.
I know.
Do you feel bad about that?
Nah.
I don't either.
Alright. Popped it open here. Glug, glug, glug.
If you haven't been on any of the bourbon tours, and you can only have time for one, I'm going to tell you, the Maker's Mark one is the one to go to. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's really fun and a neat experience. If you haven't been, if you get a chance to go, I highly, highly recommend it. Even if you don't care for the bourbon that much.
That smells sweet.
That does smell sweet, which is a Maker's thing. It's always very sweet. So it's a weeded bourbon. That's nice.
It's pretty good.
That's
pretty
nice.
Good. Definitely feel the heat from the increased alcohol.
Well, definitely has, I think, the Maker's characteristics to it. It's got that sweet. You taste it on the tip of your tongue. You just feel that burn a little bit more on the tip of your tongue, as you do with the weeded bourbons. It's a little hotter, but it's very smooth. I gotta tell you, I like this better, I think, so far than the original. This is very good. I'm liking this a lot. So I'm gonna put my little. I don't have any little ice cubes left, so it's a little too big, but we gotta get some smaller ice cube trays.
I know.
Excuse me. I like just putting a small ice cube or ice chip in my bourbon. It just opens up a lot of the flavors in. Wow, this is very nice. I'm really enjoying this quite a bit. So we're going to finish this and tell you our final opinions when we get back. So thank you. All right. So welcome back. As you can see, we finished our bourbon, and I think I'll speak for both of us on this one. I think we both really enjoyed this a lot.
Pretty good, yeah.
I'll just stay right here. That's good bourbon right there. So if you're not a huge Maker's fan, now it's a weeded bourbon, but I recommend this one right here. This is, I'm going to tell you, better than their original version. I don't know if it's because it's got a little more pop, a little more bite, a little more something, but it's just, wow, I really enjoyed this a lot. What were your take on this, Ben?
Yeah, so I enjoyed it too. I think I like the original a little bit better I think I've said in previous videos that I don't really want that bite when I'm drinking my bourbon. I just like something I could sip on for a long time and stuff like that. So this is still great. The can't go wrong with Makers. I think I prefer the original over to this one, but
I don't think you can go wrong with the original.
Yeah.
I enjoy the original, and I was kind of surprised that I liked this better than the original. I really did. I thought it just has a little more flavor. The flavor that I enjoy, it just really came through more to me. So I really don't know. The Makers 101 limited release is what this is. The price range on this, I don't think I said it before, but I believe we got Ben bought this for about 35 bucks. I think the price range is about $35 to $40. The regular Makers is probably about $30 to $35. At least in our area, that's the price range you see it at. So for a few dollars more, in my opinion, this is worth the extra few dollars if you're going to go for Makers. That's my opinion. But I really don't know how. Like I said, Makers you can find everywhere. That is readily available, which is one of the things I like about it. It aggravates me to no end when I'm going to look for a bourbon. I can't find it anywhere. I've been looking for one now for over a year. I can't find it anywhere. If I find it, we'll have it on the show.
definitely.
But and that's going to be a Henry McKenna 10, which I've had before and I enjoy. I really want another bottle of it, but haven't been able to find it. But I don't know how hard this is to find. I got to be honest with you. I've never really looked for it before.
Yeah.
I have come very close to buying the cast strength before, which I've heard good things about, and we will be reviewing that here in the future. I have not tried that yet, so I'm hoping that's just as good, and that's readily available. I do see that on shelves frequently, and I'll be looking for this one now to see if it's out there, because it does no good to me if you can't find the bourbon you're looking for. So.
Yeah, I agree. If you do see this one out on the shelves or something, I mean, maybe a talking point, could be that it's a limited release, so maybe you want to pick up this one instead of the original.
For a few dollars more, if you
Yeah.
see it next to it, I would get this and give it a shot. It's definitely worth trying. I'm going to give this, in my opinion, this is a 5 on the flavor. I'm going to give it a 4 on the value because it is pushing that $40, and there's a lot of good bourbons in that price range, and there's some that are a little less that are almost as good as this one here. But this is very good, and I think worth it. So I'm going to give it a 4 on value. It's not quite the 5 and 5 that we're looking for those wall hangers, but this is definitely a keeper bourbon to me and a great taste.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm going to give it a 4 for taste, 4 for value. Like we said, it's a little up there. Still very great price for what you're getting, though.
I think it's a good value. Not a great value, but a good value.
Definitely good, yeah.
So worth the money in my opinion, but not like a deal. So as always, thanks for watching, and if you got any comments, let us know. If we can get it, we'll try it.
Yep.
Till next time.
See ya.